One of the most common things that most people get tripped up on is comparison. Comparing your gifts or your talents or your expertise to others, or you're comparing what you have or don't have. And this is the worst thing we can do when we are on our road to purpose. So today we're going to be talking about 5 different things that will help us to overcome comparison and help us to be our best selves right where we are. Let's get started. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for joining me on the Affirming Power podcast. I am Christyl Benford, your host. I'm also a multi-business owner, a singer and songwriter, the author of Avoiding the Self-Sabotage Trap, and I am a mindset advocate. And let me tell you, everything that we do in life, whether it's failures, whether it's success or wins or whatever, it all starts in the mindset, okay? Everything starts with our mindset first. So I have to say this first. Before I get started, I need you to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like this podcast or episode. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please follow, okay? I need you to follow Shika, okay? And share it. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe so that you're notified every time that we drop a new episode. And please as well, like, share, and comment if you feel the need, which I hope you do feel the need. All right. So please do that. By the way, we're continuing a series called the Avoid Self-Sabotage series. It's actually coming from my book, Avoiding the Self-Sabotage Trap. If you want to follow along, but just even have the book to give you the tips that you need to make sure you're either overcoming self-sabotage traits or you're avoiding self-sabotage traits, then go to www.avoidselfsabotage.com, and I will also leave the link in the description as well. So I don't want to hold off any longer, honey. I want to get started because comparison is one thing that we all have dealt with, okay? Have you found yourself scrolling on social media and then you start feeling some kind of way? You either are feeling like lackluster, or you are feeling less than, or you're feeling jealous, or you are feeling envious, or you are feeling like you're not doing enough, or you feel like you're doing too much. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Guess what? All those emotions, all those feelings are coming from comparison because we naturally are meant to be in a community. Like God created us to be a part of one another, to encourage each other, to be a part of a community, right? But in that, somehow we managed to take that and then allow what we see, we allow that to make us feel like we're insignificant. Or we allow what we see others doing to make us feel less than. And I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there first. Everybody that's posting that look like they're living their best life and on top of the world and everything, honey, you're just getting a picture or a short little video, okay? Everybody is not showing what's really going on. That's the disclaimer, okay? But I'm not going to linger there. I'm not going to linger there at all. I'm going to keep it pushing. But comparison is definitely a purpose killer, a dream killer, if you let it rub you the wrong way, or if you use it to compare yourself to others and it makes you feel like you don't have enough or you should be somewhere else in life. Okay, so we're talking about a negative comparison. There's also a positive comparison too, which we'll talk about later on in this episode. But right now, I'm going to get started with reading the book because I don't want to hold you. And plus, I want you to get your own book because these tips help no matter what. This is not just a one-time read book, okay? And this series is not a one-time listen book. This book, not listen book, but listen podcast. But this book, Avoiding the Self-Sabotage Trap, is about application, life application, okay? Because we talk about signs of different traits of self-sabotage, and we also talk about the fixes, how we can fix those different traits of self-sabotage. But today, like I said, we're talking about comparison. So let's read from the book, okay? Let's read from the book. Okay, it says, we're in an era of social media, so it's hard not to see everyone's success, prosperity, and best sale. When you're continuously faced with this on every platform, it's easy to get overwhelmed and feel like you're just not good enough. Have you felt that before? It's human nature to compare yourself to others, so there's nothing wrong with you. Some use comparison to adjust their goals or improve their mindset and help them get to the finish line of their dreams sooner. That's the good comparison, y'all. Others totally shrink in the shadow of comparison because they see everything they're not. The problem with comparison is the latter. You should never compare one person's success or journey to your own unless it's for motivation. But when you already have underlying issues of self-doubt or any type of insecurity, this can be hazardous for the success of your life. Do y'all hear that? Comparison enhances every insecurity you have, from how much money you have to the health of your relationship to your weight and body type, and yes, honey, even to your religion. But as my Grammy used to say, y'all, there will always be someone better, prettier, richer, and smarter than you. So work with what you have the way you can. We're all gifted in many different ways. If you have 5 singers in a room, they all have something different and spectacular to deliver. Comparison will choke out your dreams and cause you to live in a Stepford Wives type of world where you lose yourself only to find that you're a copy of someone else. This will never bring you joy. So just be you, y'all. Okay, let me tell you. I love that chapter. Okay, I know you probably heard me say this on the other ones that I like, but there's certain chapters that I just absolutely love because they really resonate with me. But comparison is that one thing that's very subtle. A lot of times when you're scrolling through social media or you're talking to someone, they're talking about all these wonderful things going on in their lives, and maybe you're going through a challenging moment in your life, you start to feel some kind of way. And it don't always have to be jealousy. It's not that you're jealous, but you start to shrink within yourself, and don't let them don't let them tell you about all their wins and everything that's happening and woo, and then they say, so what have you been doing? And you're in a hard place in your life at the moment. And you're like, why did they ask me that? And you feel like, well, should I lie? Should I come up with something? Should I just cut them off and walk away? What do I do? Should I run for the hills? Okay, what do I do? Everybody hits a hard time. Everybody hits a challenging time, but it doesn't mean that who you are and what you're going through is less than where someone else is in their life. It doesn't mean that. Everybody has their own journey. And I'll give you a tip. Some of the people that you see that appear to be, because like I said, all things that shine ain't gold, sugar. Okay? But when you see people that appear to be doing very well in their lives, and it doesn't have to be financially, it could be relationally, it could be, with their kids, it could be whatever. It could be with their weight, it could be whatever the case is, and you see that they're doing wonderful, it is our job to not only applaud them, but turn that comparison that makes us feel less than, that makes us feel low within ourselves, turn that comparison into something that motivates us to keep moving. Because at one point in time, those people went through something hard, and a lot of times most people didn't even know about it. So we're seeing the outcome of those hardships. And just like we're seeing the outcome of their hardships, we're going to see the outcome of your hardships. And it's going to be spectacular. So don't lose hope. Don't lose faith, but you got to keep going. So let me tell you, just in case you are not clear, do I suffer from comparison? We're going to talk about a few signs, and you can see if you identify with any of these signs. Now, be truthful now. If you identify with any of these signs of comparison, And then trust me, I'm not going to leave you there. We're going to get to some fixes, some ways that you can fix this issue of comparison that you have so you can stop comparing yourself and your journey to somebody else's, okay? So let's talk about the signs. Sign number 1 of comparison. You feel insecure or jealous of others' accomplishments. Now, be honest. Have you felt that way? I think, answer yourself out loud, Sugar, if you have to be by yourself. Have you felt that way? Have you felt jealous or have you felt insecure when you're watching them, when you're seeing them, when they're talking about, oh, blah, 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 I'm winning. Have you felt that way? That's because it stems from something deeper. It's not the fact that they just seem like they're succeeding and you're not. It's not just about that. It means that has triggered something on the inside of you that makes you a negative way that you're not winning. It makes you feel bad about yourself. Okay? A lot of times those are triggers. When you have those feelings come up because something inside of you was triggered that you went through a while back. Okay? So let's think about that as we move forward. Let's talk about sign number 2 for comparison. What you currently have looks worse or less than someone else and what they have. That's all. This is the negative comparison, y'all. What we had, let me tell you, we all have something amazing on the inside of us. You might not have, I don't know, the big house yet. You might not have the fancy cars. You might not have a 6, 7, and 8 figure business yet. You might not have, a big old ministry or whatever. You might not have what you're seeing other people with. You might not have that, but it doesn't mean that it's insignificant. It does not mean that. It just means that you're still on your journey. And at the moment, this is what your journey looks like, but it doesn't mean that it's less powerful than what somebody else is experiencing in their journey where they may be further along. Don't lose faith, okay? Don't lose faith. All right. So now, let's talk about sign, and that was the second sign of comparison, by the way. So sign number 3 of comparison is you're competitive and try to prove you're just as good or talented. Okay, to all my competitive people out there. And not everybody, let me tell you, not everybody is competitive openly. There are a lot of people that are competitive secretly. Like they're competing against you and you don't even know it. You're just living your life. But it's something in you that they like, oh, I just got to be just as good. I got to be better. I got to be more anointed. I got to be more this. I got to be more that. And then so they start competing against you. And have you ever had the feeling with somebody in your life and you're like, what's wrong with them? I know they can't be competing. I mean, we don't even do the same thing. I know they can't be competing. We're not even on the same level. And you might be on a lesser level than them, but you have something that they want. But have you felt that way, honey? Have you felt that way about somebody else where you secretly compete because you like, oh, they can do that. Everybody praising them for that. I bet you I could do it. I could do it better. Okay? These are some things. These are signs, Sugar, of the bad comparison. Okay? So hang with me. We gonna get to the end and we gonna talk about the fixes. But we have some more signs of comparison. Another sign of comparison is you feel hopeless and underwhelmed with your own accomplishments and wins. I know people who have degrees on the wall. I know people who got money in the bank. I know people who got all kinds of stuff. And to you, it looks like they are living a one. They got it made. They got it all together. But there is something in them that is underwhelmed about their own accomplishments because it doesn't look as great or as big as that person's. See how subtle these things are? And a lot of times these people don't even know they're feeling a little, they're feeling like this a little bit. Sometimes these feelings come up because of approval addiction that they've had to deal with when they were younger. So when they see this other person winning, and even though they have all these accomplishments, it's not good enough. It doesn't seem as grand or as great as that other person. It really comes from this comparison issue comes from something so much deeper. And I'll do a whole nother episode out when we're done with this series about triggers, but it triggers something inside of you where maybe your parents compared you to a cousin or a relative and say, oh, this person is so grand, but but you on the other hand, yeah, that's good, but this person is amazing. You know what I mean? And maybe you've had to live up to that all your life. Who knows? You know what I mean? But nonetheless, these are things that are triggered that cause us to compare ourselves and our accomplishments to others in a negative way. And it brings up negative feelings not only about ourselves and what we've done, but also brings up negative feelings about those people, the other people. So the last sign for comparison is what you do does not seem good enough because another person's life, business, or ministry seems better. So we kind of already covered this, right? Like I said, and I will reiterate this, just because a person is on their journey and they look like they're succeeding, and I do not use that term loosely, they look as if they're succeeding in whatever area you're envying, but it does not mean that where you are makes you less than them. It doesn't make you less powerful. It doesn't make you less knowledgeable. It doesn't make you less educated. It doesn't make you less anointed than who they are. That's just where they are right now. Okay? And you have to remember that you're going to get there too, but you have to trust the process and go through the journey. Okay? We learn and we win in the journey. Okay? So now here's the wonderful part. Like I said, I'm not going to leave you hanging. So now let's go to the fixes. The fixes for comparison. Fix number 1. Find gratitude. There's power in gratitude, people. Find gratitude in who you are and what you're able to do. God's able to do just what he said. Okay, so if God lives in you, then you're able to do it too. So you are able to do what you set your mind to do. Some things are just going to take time. Okay, some things are just going to take time and it's okay. But find gratitude. Take time out. Turn off your device. Stop scrolling. Be quiet. Close your eyes. If you need a little meditation music, put it on, honey. And think about all the things that you have been able to accomplish. And even more so, when you think about what you have accomplished, then the second part of that meditation and focus needs to be, what am I wonderful and good at now? Because I think we overlook the gifts within us. I think we overlook them, and honey, no shade, because I have had to have this talk with myself in the past. So I think we overlook the gifts that we're good at because they come so easy. Other people wish they could have our gifts, and you never know. The people that you're envying and that you're a little bit jealous of, call it what it is, you're a little bit jealous of them, they might feel that way about you because maybe you could do something that they can't do and you do it effortlessly, but you blowing it off. You blowing off this God-given genius because it's just like, I could do it. I can sing well. I can write good, but I want to do that. So you get all this training, all this schooling to try to do something that they are gifted to do, but you have to find gratitude with what you are gifted to do right now. Oh, y'all better like this, honey. Y'all better like this. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe, child, because I'm dropping these nuggets, okay? Let's get free. Okay, fix number 2 of comparison. Embrace yourself as being a phenomenon that no one can hold a candle to. Now, let's put this disclaimer out there, honey, because I don't want you to think that I'm telling you be prideful. That's not what no. I'm not saying be arrogant and prideful, be like, oh, you can't touch you. No, okay, let's reel it in. But I'm saying embrace yourself as being a phenomenon. When God created us, he was strategic about every single one of us, down to the fibers of our being, down to our cellular makeup, down to our DNA. Hey, okay? Embrace yourself as being a phenomenon. I don't care if 10 people are great writers in the room, they don't write like you. I don't care if you have 20 speakers in the same room, they don't speak and deliver it like you. Okay? So you are a phenomenon. And tell yourself that every day. I'm a phenomenon. There is not another one like me. Even if you are a twin, your twin is not exactly like you. Y'all have y'all's own feelings, your own emotions, your own ways of thinking and doing things. You are a phenomenon, and you have to tell yourself that, because once we realize that we are wonderfully created in God's image, and we are all different with different types of gifts and anointings and all these different things. Once we understand that, honey, we don't need to compare ourselves to nobody else, because it'll be like, oh, that's good. I celebrate you. Woohoo, honey. But I know what I got too. Not taking away from you. Celebrate you, but I'm celebrating me too. That's all I'm saying. Okay, fix number 3 of comparison. Celebrate your own accomplishments. Woo, woo, woo. You have to celebrate your own accomplishments. I don't care how small they are. I have a girlfriend. Let me tell you. She is a wonderful friend, okay? She's just a wonderful friend. But we used to meet every Friday. And if I know you probably listening, so you know I'm talking about you, Kelly. Okay, but we used to meet every Friday. And when we would meet, we would go over our accomplishments, things we learned, things we got done, off of our list from the prior week or whatever. But one thing that I didn't realize until I met with her, she said, so what's your wins? How many pins did you get? Or how many, and when I say pins, I'm talking about pictures. But that's why I was doing pictures back in the day. But how many this did you get? And I'd be like, oh. And I didn't even realize my accomplishments because I was so busy trying to get this high level thing, not realizing that I was overlooking all the little things that lead up to the big thing. And then you get discouraged because you're like, I'm discouraged because I'm not at the big thing yet. Yeah, but you don't understand that your accomplishments are leading up to the big thing. Thank God for every accomplishment, every situation. I don't care how big or small. Whoa, you got 2 new YouTube subscribers. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. Two new YouTube. That's 2 more than what you had. That's 2 more people that want to hear what you have to say. Okay, woohoo! You got 1 speaking engagement for the month of March when you thought you would have had 5 or 6. Celebrate those accomplishments, because they will fuel you and they will get you to the next level of process, of purpose. Okay, this is good. Okay. Accept, this is the fix number 4 for comparison. Accept compliments and praise from people who love and celebrate you. When we compare ourselves to others, let me tell you what we're doing. We are downplaying who we are, which is a slap in the face to God, in my opinion. But we are downplaying who we are and downplaying what we have. But then a lot of times God will send somebody your way to sing your praises, okay? And not like praise. You're not, not crazy stuff. But to come sing your praises and just celebrate you. But because we feel so crappy about who we are and what we haven't done, focusing on the lack instead of focusing on the wins and the abundance of what we already do have, we feel so bad about ourselves that we repel those blessings. We repel those kind words, those encouraging words. And it's really just jacked up all around. Like, it's jacked up for you that you can't receive a kind word about yourself. It's jacked up to the person that is really genuinely and truly singing your praises, and they see all this awesomeness inside of you. And then it's a slap in the face to God, who created you as being a phenomenon, and you still trying to be like another phenomenon that you wasn't created to be, instead of celebrating your own self. Child, please, honey. We got to get out of this comparison, okay? We have to get out of it. Okay. So the final fix for comparison, okay? Stop exposing yourself to people places, or things that trigger comparison and insecurity. So I'm going to put the book down because I'm going to tell you what that means. For those of you that love social media, but every time you're on social media and then you get off of social media, you feel worse than when you got on. That means get off of social media. Do you have to be on there? To do fast from social media. I understand if you got to be on there for business, put whatever you're going to put on and come on off until you get healed, sweetie. Come on off until you get healed. Come on off of social media until you get healed, okay? Because you are setting yourself up for failure by looking at everybody live their lives and you're not even proud of the life that you've been given. And like I said, you might be in a very challenging place right now. Get it. I get it. You may be in a challenging place right now, and it's hard to see the sunshine on the other side of those dark clouds. But trust me, the sun is always there. And in you, there's always something to celebrate. There is always a win that you can celebrate, past or present. So step away from whatever, even if it's people, and you keep putting yourself around these people that's making you feel this so strongly with this comparison that it's almost taking you into depression. Come away from them. Stop talking to these people. Fast, honey, until you get healed. Fast, okay? Fast until you get healed, whether that's food fast, social media fast, people fast, whatever that needs to be, step away from it. And learn how to appreciate what you have so that you're not comparing yourself to others, but you're celebrating who you are and what God is giving you. All right? So that's all I got to say today. Okay? But don't forget to grab your copy of Avoiding the Self-Sabotage Trap. And you can get that at www.avoidselfsabotage.com. Check the description for the link. Is there as well. I have an ebook and I have the physical copy for those of you that like paper products. Okay, but let's get out of this state of comparison because this book is something that's going to help you to do that. If you got to read those fixes every day and affirm them to yourself in the mirror, honey, then do what you have to do. But let's get free of comparison, okay? Because if we don't get free, if you don't get free of comparison, honey, you can't move forward. Okay, you can't move forward. That's a hard truth, but it's a truth nonetheless. You cannot move forward if you do not get free of comparison because you'll be putting your eyes on what you're lacking instead of putting your eyes on what you already have that's already amazing. So I thank you all for joining me on the Affirming Power podcast. And again, we're getting close to wrapping up this series, Avoid Self-Sabotage series. So if you need to see the other ones, then it should be here. No, it should be here in the corner for those of you on YouTube in the upper right-hand corner, or you can just hit the podcast and you'll see all of them there if you're listening on another platform. So thank you guys for listening and joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, all that good jazz. And I appreciate you, and I can't wait to hear your testimonies, guys and girls, women and men. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.